So the Packers are not far off in being the favorites to win the division in 2026. It is amazing to see the Lions as the favorites at plus 180 when they were in fourth place last year. The Packers finished second. They're plus 190. The Bears, who won the whole thing, are in third position at plus 340. And there are the Vikings bringing up the rear. Sorry, folks, this is the year the Vikings make the playoffs. This is analytics. Even number year they make the playoffs, odd number year they don't. So you're wasting your money if you're betting on the other teams, because I think the Vikings have a shot this year. And I'm being half joking but also half serious, because I do think for whatever reason, when the Vikings have high expectations, they don't live up to them. When the expectations are reduced, they find a way to thrive. And I think they feed on that more than anyone else. So against that background, Michael, who do you think is under the most pressure of the four coaches in that division this year? We got Dan Campbell in Detroit, Ben Johnson in Chicago, Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. Who would you say is under the most pressure?
Well, I would say under the most pressure, I would say is Dan Campbell, and not because like all these coaches, I feel like all these coaches are pretty secure. Like if Dan Campbell misses the playoffs again, I don't think he's going to be fired. I don't think Kevin O'Connell's. They're all well-regarded coaches. They would have to be like a 2-15 season for somebody, I think, for one of those coaches to be out. And we're talking about a vacancy in 2027. But I think the pressure for Campbell comes from what we thought the Lions were going to be at this point. And we keep going. We've talked about it before. And Campbell has mentioned it, and it's probably the most poignant quote he's had in his tenure as coach of the Lions. When they lost the NFC Championship game to the Niners, and they had the big lead, and they kept going for it on fourth down, and they kept failing after that game, he says, this may have been our only shot. Well, that was their pinnacle. So far, that's their pinnacle. And we thought the Lions were on this upward trajectory. We thought they were it was inevitable. Look, they just keep building. They were bad in the beginning, and they just kept getting better and adding talent, and they're fun, and they got this great offense, and they really figured it out, and they revived the franchise and really electrified the city. Well, 9-8 last year. After the San Francisco debacle, they look great. They win a division. Then they lose in the divisional round to Washington. So what are you going to have? It's not enough for the Lions to make the playoffs. It used to be. That used to be good enough to make the playoffs. It's not enough to win a playoff game. That used to be enough. I think people in Detroit are looking at it and saying, I don't want us to waste our window. We got some real talent across the roster. I want to see us get to the NFC Championship game and win it. Get to the Super Bowl for the first time. So I think Dan Campbell and the Lions are under the most pressure to do that.
Yeah, one of the few teams to never make it to a Super Bowl. The others, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Texans. Is that the list? Am I missing someone who's never been to a Super Bowl? Browns, Lions, Texans,
I don't
Jaguars.
think so.
So I think between Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell, if you don't make the playoffs this year, next year could get weird, potentially. All depends on how badly this year goes. Like, if you have, and no one's immune from getting fired if you've got a 2-15, 1-16 debacle. Bill Belichick in his heyday would have suddenly found himself not buying green bananas if he had gone 2-15 or 1-16 while awaiting final word from Robert Kraft as to his future. I don't think anyone is guaranteed to survive that. But let's just say it's 6-11. The Lions or the Vikings. 6-11. Next year's a little. Better turn this around now. So I think that applies to both of them. Something that Campbell said this week. They want some saltiness back. See, they lost some of that edge. They were salty in 2022 and 2023. The last 2 years, really, hey, it's their own fault. They flew too close to the sun on wings of pastrami. against the 49ers when they went for it up 17. What was it? They were up 17 at the half. Oh, this is what it was. They were up 17 at the half. The 49ers took, 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter to get in position to get a field goal to reduce it to 14. The Lions were in position to kick another field goal to put it back to 17 with half of the third quarter gone. And if you watch the receiver series on Netflix the year after that game, two things. The questions posed by Amon-Ra St. Brown's dad from the stands, why the hell did they go for it? And the lift from Deebo Samuel's perspective. Because that was the year that they had the amalgamation of Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Davante Adams. So that was a rare, postseason game with guys you had 3 of the guys tied up in that game. And the lift that the 49ers got from that, incredible. So that's one they blew. But then, man, to step on a rake at home against the Commanders on a Saturday night when the table was set for you to go to the Super Bowl finally, that was just jarring. That was the moment the balloon popped. And look, they missed the playoffs last year. The balloon popped, they missed the playoffs, and now how much air can they put back into it this year? It's going to be, look, that's a great division, top to bottom. All 4 teams in there are capable of winning it, and they're capable of doing significant things in the postseason if they can stay healthy and if they can just get clicking in that iron sharpens iron stuff that as they play each other twice a year. All right, we got a break. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.